Another day and another Jaire Alexander update. This time it's a little bit of good news, a little bit of bonus news if you're catching my drift. The Green Bay Packers got some great salary cap news from Jaire Alexander. We'll break that down all on today's show. Thanks so much for joining us, everybody. Before we get into any of the content, anything about Jaire Alexander, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button because we've been battling the Bears all of April and we're down 7 subs to them, okay? It's been a back and forth battle just like it was all of last month. I need you guys to help me out. Do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button, not only so you guys can lock us in, the best YouTube channel, Packers YouTube channel right here, but also that way you can beat the Bears and show them who runs the NFC North. So the good news on today's show, the bonus news rather, is that Green Bay gets an insurance cap benefit from Jaire Alexander of $1.07 million. Now, what is an insurance cap benefit? How does an insurance cap benefit work? I hear you asking the question. Let's answer it right now. So basically, teams in the NFL can have insurance policy in case a player gets injured. It's a salary cap loophole, because the money invested in these policies don't count towards the cap, but when the team receives the money, the cap spending is credited back. And so, because Jaire Alexander missed 10 games this past season, this is coming from Ken Ingalls with Packers Cap, the Green Bay Packers get $1.07 million back on the cap, just like they got $1.4 million in 2023. So they basically saw the guy that Jaire Alexander was, unfortunately, the injury-prone player that he is, and they said, you know what? We're going to have a little bit of an insurance policy. We're going to give Progressive, State Farm, Geico. We're going to go give those guys a call and say, you know what, if you miss 10 games, we're going to get $1 million back. And that's exactly what happened. So it's really nice that there's a little bit of a silver lining with the entire Jaire Alexander injury situation, because that's one of those deals where if your star player, your star corner, the guy you just paid a ton of money to a few years ago with his contract extension, misses back-to-back years of 10 or more games, it's really, really frustrating until you look at the fact that, you know what, hey, at least there's a silver lining of getting $1 million from it. Right now, the Packers cap space sits at $32.49. Let's round that up. $32.5 million, which sits at 10th best in the National Football League. Now, that number does fluctuate a ton. It's going to still fluctuate until we get into 2025. But where we sit right now is 10th best, which I think any of us can be happy with. But let's keep talking about Jaire Alexander. Brian Gutekunst gave this update early last week. John Thornton is his agent talking about Jaire. We talk weekly about these things and working together on finding the best solution for everybody. We invested a lot in Jaire, and we want to make sure that if he's not going to be on our football team helping us win games, that we get something back for that investment. And right now, everyone, including myself, is guessing on what will happen. Nobody knows what's going to happen with Jaire Alexander in 2025. Opinions have changed pretty drastically over the last couple of months, right? If we remember the DK Metcalf trade rumors from pretty early on in free agency about a month ago, people were pretty guaranteed that Jaire Alexander is going to be on his way out. Rob Demoski of ESPN wrote about it. But after what Brian Gutekunst had to say last week, people kind of changed their tone, and I kind of did as well. So comment what you think down below. What will Green Bay do with Jaire Alexander? Will they trade him or will they keep him? You let me know in the comment section by typing trade or typing keep. I'd love to get y'all's opinions. Make sure to get down in the comments and let me know. Another interesting wrinkle that's happened kind of recently, Xavier McKinney posted this on his story and said, good work. Tag Jaire Alexander. It's a video of Jaire dancing or listening to music, making it pretty obvious that those two worked out together, had a little training session together. So we see the guys in the secondary are still hanging out with him. So does that mean that the relationships are amended? It could. Some dates to look at over the next couple of weeks. The first day of off-season workout dates is April 21st. So in about 2 weeks exactly. The Monday of April 21st, the week of the NFL draft, and OTAs start May 27th to 28th, the 30th, early June as well, and then mandatory minicamp is June 10th through 12th. And I think April 1st is going to tell us a lot. I think if Jaire Alexander is not on this team in 2025, it's going to happen before April 21st, and if not April 21st, I think it's going to be a draft night trade possibly. So don't rule that out either, because we've seen big things happen, big things go down, I should say, on draft nights. But I think that if Jaire Alexander is going to be off this team, whether that is, prior to April 21st, prior to that first day, or in a draft day trade, they're going to want to get him out so they can figure out what they need to bring in the draft. That's kind of why I think it's going to happen before the draft starts. And also, I think April 21st is going to be a big date because you're going to get to see whether he's there or not. Big draft day trade that happened recently that I think we can all look at, because you might be saying, Joey, big players don't get dealt on draft nights. Contraire, my friend. Tennessee Titans traded A.J. Brown in exchange for pick number 18 and pick number 101. Now, was that a good trade? No, I don't think it was. But it doesn't mean that it still didn't happen, because as we see right there, A.J. Brown is in an Eagles jersey, not a Tennessee Titans one. So the big question is, as it comes with Jaire Alexander, as the discussions about trading him kind of keep going on, and we keep talking about it right here on the show, will anybody want to take the risk to give up assets, draft picks, for a guy who hasn't been on the football field? That's the biggest question that needs answered. And I think that's the biggest reason that a trade has yet to happen, because they don't necessarily want to take the risk. You can see the last 4 seasons. 4 games played in 2021 because of a shoulder injury. And then 2022, 16 games played. 2023, 2024, back-to-back seasons with only 7 games played, 10 games missed in each of those. Alrighty? So you can see why some teams might be hesitant, not only to trade for him, but also you're going to have to pay him as well. There's a lot that comes together with Jaire Alexander. So coming up, I got some top trade destinations. I'm going to give you 4 teams to look out for as possible places that might be interested in getting Jaire Alexander across the finish line and into their squad. Before that, though, make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, okay, right now. Because if you do, you get daily Packers videos, you get breaking news coverage, the latest news and rumors. The best thing about it is all 100% free. We got over 2,500 Packers fans already with us on the channel, and we've only been going strong for a couple of months. Okay, let's keep growing. Let's add the next 500. Let's get to 3,000. All you got to do is help me out by hitting that sub button. So it takes 2 to tango, right? Let's talk about the 4 teams that might possibly be tangoing with the Green Bay Packers to get Jaire Alexander. My number 1 top trade destination is the Las Vegas Raiders. They lost a guy like Nate Hobbs. Where'd he go? Oh, he went to Green Bay. They're a team that believes, after the offseason moves that they've made, getting Geno Smith, signing Max Crosby to a massive contract extension, and, also getting their head coach and Pete Carroll in there, that they can compete. They need a good cornerback to do so. Jaire Alexander could be the answer. The Pittsburgh Steelers is another team that I would look for. Alrighty, Pittsburgh had a good year with Joey Porter Jr. That's it. Joey Porter Jr. had a great season in Pittsburgh. He dealt with a couple injuries, missed a couple games. Outside of him, that cornerback room is very, very bleak. Jaire Alexander could be a name to go there. Jacksonville Jaguars, they've done a lot so far in NFL free agency, a lot in the name of their exiting people. There's been a mass exodus in Jacksonville. Jaire Alexander could be a name they bring in to help shore up that defense. And the Minnesota Vikings, I think, is another team. Brian Flores did fantastic things with that defense in 2024. Stephon Gilmore, he was great in that cornerback 2 role. He will be gone, or hasn't gone yet. He's still a free agent. But that could be a guy, Jaire Alexander, that Brian Flores wants to bring in to help that secondary out, because we all know their front 7 is not the part of that defense that needs any work. My gut, if I'm being honest with you, tells me that he's a Packer in 2025. I just think that, and also, by the way, this would be different a week ago. I don't know about a week ago, a month ago. My gut was definitely telling me that he wasn't going to be a Packer, but everything that's transpired over the last couple of weeks tells me that he still will be one. But the question is does he want to be a Green Bay Packer? Because we all remember this tweet from Kelly Hallinan at the very end of the season, right? He said that he doesn't even know if he's going to be here next year. Said he didn't have anything good to say, so he definitely wasn't going to talk. Like, from that perspective, and I know it was the end of the season, after the loss against the Eagles, and even though he didn't play in that game, it still hurt, I'm sure. But at the end of that, everybody's like, okay, does he even want to be here? Big question marks there. But then if you look at it from Green Bay's perspective of why they might not want him there, it's because of the financials. He's due $16.15 million in 2025. Almost a $25 million cap hit. Now, the dead cap to move him would be $18.12 million, but that might be worth it to Brian Gutekunst to get this guy who hasn't been able to get on the field and also has been struggling, with just being a great teammate. You look at that last tweet from Kelly Hallinan, to get that guy off the roster. So what say you? Will Jaire be a Packer in 2025? Give me a yes, give me a no in the comment section down below. You heard my answer. I want to hear yours right now. Make sure you guys subscribe before you get on out of here. Appreciate every single one of you who have already joined us. We're only going to be growing more and more and more as the weeks go on. So make sure you get on the train right now.